First off, I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to those apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. A lot of respect to you brothers out there on the highways and byways, preaching this truth around the four corners of the earth. And salutations to the whole for that you guys may be sealed soon. And with that, this your brother Dawad Ba from the branch of GMS here in Chicago, coming right back at you with a little lesson. And as you see on my phone screen here, I got the YouTube channel Poke Sheriff. And as you see, the title of his lesson is Sheriff Judd, Chicago cops told not to respond. And now this guy is going to have a different take on what happened here in Chicago, and it just lets you know how Esau is, man. These motherfuckers love to speak highly. They have an arrogant way of saying things. They love their talking points. And this just lets you know the things that they come up with, that wrath and how they love to get shit started, words that they use, and this guy on the screen is going to do that. So with that, hey, just listen carefully to what he says. I'm going to get a few scriptures, maybe grab a few definitions of a few words too, because there's a few things he say that caught my attention. So with that, I'd like to give all so with that, here we go.
Hello, I'm Sheriff Grady Judd. I've spent my entire adult life in law enforcement, and I have never heard of one law enforcement agency not helping another when they call for help until this weekend, when a chief of patrol, where the Chicago Police Department instructed the police officers not to run in and help their colleagues who were calling for help, who were under attack by a bunch of people clearly violating the law. That's scary. Let me give you the antithesis of that. We had a single man resist ICE agents and get away from them in our community. We sent a helicopter, a drone, K9, and 50 law enforcement officers to surround an area, and we found that guy who violently resisted ICE, and we locked him up in jail where he should have been. If you allow anarchists and criminals to run wild in your community, people will die. People will be shot. Now let me say this. For other law enforcement leaders across this state and nation, you need to be standing up saying the same exact thing that I am. Because when you have a breakdown of the rule of law, when you allow anarchists, criminals to take over the streets and attack law enforcement officers and then not send them help, that's a slippery slope, a real slippery slope.
So y'all heard Big Mouth. So, here he is. He's talking about how cops, Chicago, I guess the captain told people to stand down and, saying that they needed help. Now, I don't know exactly what situation this pertains to in Chicago. I have heard of the one that happened with the 7500. I think it's South Chicago. I'm not. Don't quote me on that address, where they around 10 o'clock at night they raided a home, arrested 37 people, a lot of kids. People were naked, and majority of them were Jakes. A lot of them were Jakes. So this guy talking about criminals and all this other nonsense, when you really want to know the truth, the three-letter boys are really your criminals in this world. They're the ones that's really the ones that cause a lot of problems. Jake do his thing, but man, you know what? Crime has been down here in Chicago. As a matter of fact, to be quite honest, it's been kind of quiet here if you really want to know the truth. And I live here. The only thing that's been a problem is a lot of people talking about these ICE agents, but hey, things got to happen, and they got to happen quickly, and things going to get started. You're going to have guys like this with these talking points, talking this shit, talking out the side of the neck just to get stuff started, saying these guys are criminal anarchists and criminals. First, you deporting people that don't supposed to be over here. This is what you're saying. Now you're talking about anarchists and criminals. See, this is the talking points, These devils gonna come, man. These devils gonna come, babe, but they're gonna be fucking up each other too. But either way it goes, and I can't wait, man. Because guys like this with this prideful speaking and all this other stuff, man, I can't wait. Now I'm gonna just look up the word anarchist. I did have it pulled up, so I'm gonna look up the word anarchist. Now here's the point. I had it pulled up. It says an anarchist is a person who believes in anarchism, a political philosophy and a movement that opposes all forms of hierarchy and involuntary coercive authority. Anarchists believe that a stateless society based on voluntary cooperation and free association is both possible and desirable. So anarchists don't really believe in a government. When you look up the word anarchy, it goes back to the Greek word without ruler. So when you look, so you got a lot of people out here who just don't believe in the government. And when you think about the forefathers in the past, the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms wasn't the right to bear arms just because you was hunting. No, man, it was ever meant for like if the government ever was to try to sit up here and be authoritarian government, one that was trying to, take over its citizens and keep them down and push them down and be authoritative over and come up with draconian laws and stuff. That's what having the weapons were, so you could fight back. And that's one of the things they're coming after anyway, See, people sit up here and think that these ICE agents and these troops and all this other stuff are just going to be for deportation, and all this other stuff. No, yeah, it's going to look that way. Yeah, it's going to sit up here, and then Jake's going to get caught up in it. But really, man, it's just to have these guys in place when all hell break loose, That's the other thing. But with that, let me sit up here and grab it was another, first things first. Let me grab this scripture real quick. I got a couple of scriptures. That I want to get a hold of. This is Second Corinthians 2:11. It says, "For the lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." And you see what this guy, he gets up there and to law enforcement, he gives his little speech about, hey, you know what, these are criminals and anarchists and this and this and that and all this other stuff. But here it is, like I said before. We're not ignorant of Satan's devices, man. We're not ignorant of the things that these damn devils say and do. Like this motherfucker right here, he giving a lot of talking points and saying a lot of things. And that's going to get some of these officers riled up, talking about all they violent and stuff, But when you haven't heard any of these guys being violent, if anyone's being violent, it's these ICE agents. They beating up on people. You seeing a lot of proof of violence. You seeing a lot of videos of people walking down, and especially they beat up on a few Jakes and roughed them up and held them for hours, even though these guys were citizens, But the whole point of the matter is that when you got guys like this who talk, guess what? That roused these guys up into believing that this man is speaking the truth. And guess what that's going to do? Cause a lot of havoc. They're going to cause a lot of these ICE agents and the three-letter alphabet boys to do a lot of fucked up shit, And and we all know these ICE agents ain't nothing but white supremacists with masks on, who's been given full reign to do what they want to do through DJ Trump. But we're not ignorant of his devices. So, and here's another, and I'm finna go to Psalms because and guys like this love to speak. Hey, we can't wait till the Lord come back and destroy you, Esau. We sick of you so-called white people, man. We had it up the hill with y'all fucking bullshit. This is Psalm 73. Man. You know what? I'm gonna start at 5. This is Psalm 73 and 5. Yeah, there you go. This is Psalm 73 and 5. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. And this is talking about the so-called white man. They're not in trouble like other men. Black men, so-called black men and Hispanics and the Native Americans. Hey, man, we get fucked up, thrown in jail, treated bad, all sorts of stuff, man. Low on the totem pole. White men don't go through that, man. Here it is. They don't go through the problems that we go through. They got the best of everything, Here it is. If they get in trouble with the law, they get treated well. Oh, how you doing, sir? And Jake sit up here and smoke a joint and get beat up, damn near killed. You know, these guys are not like us, man. This is their kingdom. It says, therefore, pride compasseth them about as a chain. Violence covered them as a garment. They prideful as hell, man. Prideful as hell. Because they can get away with the stuff that they get away with. And when you can do certain things that other people can't do, guess what? That gives you a different mindset. It's just like with these women. And I'm not going to sit up here and beat up on them, and I'm not going to bash them. But hey, when you sit up here and know that the law is on your side, you could divorce men and do certain things, guess what? It gives them that sort of pride that they could do these things and they'll do it. And it's to their benefit. But see, the Lord is about to bring all that stuff down with Esau. See, hey, when he go down, Eve going to go down just as hard with him. But here's the point I want to make. Oh, and it says their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than the heart could wish. Yes, they do. They got, everywhere you go, when you go overseas, when you go to these other countries, where are they? They vacation in the best parts. Over here, they vacation in the best parts. Got the best health care. Got the best exercise facilities. Got the best places where they live. Everything. Heart more than what they desire. And don't do nothing with the shit that they hold on to the gold, save the jewels, keep money locked up, Jake, when they get money, boy, they be flashing. Even when he get money, he'll lock it in a storage vault and keep it under the ground and don't do nothing with it. Got all this gold. And I think brothers bought that out yesterday. I think it was Monday when we bought that out at class when we was doing a lesson, These motherfuckers just take all this gold, all the jewels, and they bury it in a vault somewhere. Jake be having that shit on flashing and kicking it, But that's what these damn devils do, man. Got everything. But here's the point I want to make. This is Psalm 73:8. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. And here it is. He's speaking loftily. Loftily is speaking having a high morale or arrogant in how you talk. And that's how he's talking. Wickedly concerning oppression. Here it is. He's talking about how violent people are, but a lot of these people didn't do anything. The alphabet boys are coming on in. The 3-letter alphabet boys coming on in. ICE coming on in with bullshit, talking about deportation, talking about some Trent LaGuardia, whatever the name of the game they was talking about. Salaki, if I'm messing it up. But here it is. You raid a place that's pretty much full of Jakes, so-called blacks. Bringing kids out in Ziplocs that's 2, 3, 4 years old, naked. And then having the nerve to say, fuck them kids, which one of the ladies sit up here and said that one of them said, which I do believe. You got a lot to pay for, man. You got a lot of your pride for your arrogancy. You got a lot to pay for, man. And a lot of these so-called lower class Edomites going to wake up and see that they were duped into believing in a lie. Going to be too late then. That 1,000-year slavery in the kingdom, and we're going to really put a foot in you. A real foot in you. And we can't wait. Here, where I was going to go. There you go. The Job 20. As Job 20 and 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short? Yeah, y'all sit up here and think y'all getting away with a lot of things, especially your elites. But you lower class Edomites don't understand the things that y'all doing, man. Y'all are hypocrites. You're wicked. You're evil. And it's going to come to an end pretty soon. And it says the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. You're hypocrites, man. You're hypocrites. You sit up here and talk bad about Jake, but here it is, you're doing the worst of it. You guys commit most of the crimes in this goddamn country, and the brothers was bringing it out. The Zaquanian was bringing it out at the bishop's lessons on Sunday. They were saying stuff about that. Y'all do more crimes, and they were bringing out the percentage too. I'm almost positive it was this Sunday that just passed where they was bringing this stuff out. The shit that y'all do. But y'all had the nerve to talk about Jake. Y'all had the nerve to sit up here and speak about the so-called Hispanics. And you motherfuckers worse than anything on the damn planet. Your own women don't even like you. But hey, man, this shit about to come to an end. But we also got to understand that this damn devil got to come with everything he gonna come with, man. He got to come with it. Hey, that's prophecies. You know, Jacob's trouble. The major prophecy is the introduction to the sea hip, the MOTB. These are things that gotta happen. And one of the other things, what? Egyptian against Egyptian, because these motherfucking so-called white people gonna be fucking each other up. And Jake gonna get fucked up too. But these white people, that's a big thing. They're gonna be fucking each other up. You talking about that anarchy? Hey, that's gonna be a big part of you since you talking about that anarchist shit. Your own people gonna be fucking you up. You know, but I don't want to keep on. That shit kind of pissed me off. You know, just listening to this arrogant ass fool. But and all of them arrogant. They all speak arrogantly. And the Lord gonna put a foot in their ass. You know. You know what, man? I just want to, and this is something that, and I'm gonna grab this scripture in Psalms. I think it's 140. You know, just to sit up here and make a point. It says, to the chief musician, a psalm of David or a song of David. It says, deliver me, O Lord, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man, which imagine mischief in their hearts. Continually are they gathered together for war. They have sharpened their tongues like a serpent, and as poison is under their lips. Selah. When you look at the word Selah, it means like a brief pause. You know, it's like a pause. You know. But it says, deliver me from the evil man, the violent man, who imagine mischiefs in their heart. And they gather. This is Esau, Edom. And this is what we praying on a daily basis, man. And when all the hell come loose, that the Lord got us. And keep us out of the hands of these fools. And if any of us do have to go to jail and have to be put to death, you know, hey, so be it. We die for this truth. Strive for the truth unto death. And the Lord will fight for thee. You know, in Revelations 2:10, you know, hey, someone's going to be thrown in jail. Hey, the devil's going to throw some of us in jail, but hey, you know, be faithful thou unto death, you know, to get that crown of life and that salvation. So, hey, you know what, man? Hey, brothers, hey, times is quick picking up. Things are picking up, you know, and these devils going to have to come with that great wrath pretty soon, and it seems like they're coming, and it seems like they're coming fast, too. So with that, I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to those apostles and elders from Great Millstone who teach and rule well. A lot of respect to you brothers out there on the highways and byways preaching the truth around the four corners of the earth. And salutations to the whole for that you guys may be sealed soon. And with that, I always say stay prayed up, brothers. Pray for each other because we're almost up out of here. So with that, I'd like to say Kwam Yasharella and Abba Ball. And Anya Habatam Malakiam. Shalom.